Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode in the latest and greatest in Pokemon TCG news. This is the Poke Advisor podcast, bringing you the latest news in the Pokemon TCG space. And for today's video, we are going to be talking about the biggest Pokemon movers and shakers of the week of April 29th. How they evolved and shining legends are aging like fine wine. Beautiful picture. I was always a Bulbasaur starter. You know what I'm talking about. The first personality test you ever took, which starter, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, or their equivalents in later generations. My experience with it was the original starters and this room. Fun fact, Bulbasaur was also uniquely powerful in Red and Blue, because the first two gyms were Rock-type Brock and Water-type Misty, both of which were huge type advantages for Grass-type. That wasn't my reasoning when my 10-year-old self went with Bulbasaur. I think I like the Vine attack, but in retrospect, that worked out pretty well for me, and I stuck with it forever. My starter when I played Gold and Silver, Chikorita. When I came back to Pokemon a very long time later and played Scarlet and Violet, you guessed it, Sprigatito. Another fun fact, Sprigatito is widely considered the most popular of the Gen 9 starters. Sorry, Quaxley and Fuecoco, the people have spoken. And speaking of Sprigatito, we have this beautiful card from Paldea Evolved, going for about $23 now. It looks like it has increased since the time of release or a year ago from $10, slowly climbing to $23. The speculation never ceased. Sprigatito $196 in the last week, jumping from a market price near $20 to one closer to $30 after a small buyout on April 21st. With the latest increase, this card has nearly doubled since the start of the year, and climbing over the past few weeks when most chase illustrations or SIRs have been setting is impressive for the cat that could nap. This doesn't move the needle much as far as the set Paldea Evolved is concerned. Really, it's a standout in its own way among recent sets. It has one mega expensive card, which is the Magikarp, as we know, going for $215 now? No, wrong card. So Magikarp going for $215, dropping from $300, which is hovering around $210 after falling from a peak of $270. But nothing else in the set is worth more than $70. We've got Iono at $68, beautiful card. And Raichu at $50, another beautiful card. Both flat the last month. But honestly, that's fairly pedestrian when it comes to some of Surging Spark's prismatic sets we get. Though, speaking of prismatic evolution, several of its expensive evolutions, including Glaceon, dropped 5 to 10% in price last week. So Glaceon 320, looks like it was at 360, peaked at 340, and now down to 330. So not a bad time to buy. Tinkaton from Paldea Evolved, $33 from $27 last week, and only $16 a year ago. It's been showing a little momentum over the last 2 weeks. Mousehold has made a well-documented rise. Beautiful card. At $35 from $10 last year. Mousehold has made a well-documented rise. And Little Old Bramblin, oh wow, $8 from $5. Little Old Bramblin is climbing as well, after doubling up from $4 to $8. Bramblin is at it again, and today is pushing $10. All in all, a far cry from the weekly doubles we were seeing during the height of the Pokemon TCG rush. But as a set, Paldea Evolved is at the least holding value and has a lot of value in to go around. Then we got Eevee and Snorlax. 3 months ago were $30, now sitting at $55. 2019 set Team Up as a frequent contributor to movers and shakers. And this week it's Eevee and Snorlax exploding. I'm going to preface what's coming with the fact that you can pick up copies of this pairing for $15 less than a year ago. But it seems like some of the big spikes in TCG market are essentially working backward in time through sets as collectors move on from the low-hanging fruit. Along with things related to the Pokemon Day announcements, we've seen big movement on basically everything that applies to this Eevee and Snorlax. It's an Eevee card. It's a GX. It's a classic team-up. And it's from a legendary set that already supports the $600 Gengar and Mimikyu. Sheesh. So it climbed up really nicely. And who could forget the Latios, going for a whopping $1,800. Wow. where a near-mint copy will run you $2,700. Yes, you read that right. There's something no other set quite like Team Up, and the EV and Snorlax printing is starting to chase down its collaborators in price. You're looking at a minimum of $55 for a near-mint copy, and that price is going quickly in a set where several of the existing chase cards are again moving. Then you got Vileplume GX from Cosmic Eclipse starting, 3 months ago was 40, now it's 66, going to 70. Wow, and just a year ago was $43. As for another 2019 set, Cosmic Eclipse continues to climb. The headliner of the set, the almost $300 Reshiram Zekrom, and Solgalea Lunala, which is also $300. Beautiful card. Are still moving up, with each adding $30 to $40 over the past month. They're joined by Vileplume, which has a 25% rise. Vileplume spent all of 2024 hovering quietly around $40, but began to climb back in February and has only picked up steam since. All that pressure broke the dam over the past week, and today you're looking at a $75 near-mint copy. Then we got Mewtwo from Shining Legends, starting at $11 and now $21. Another GX, another huge spike. We've seen several of these Mewtwo EX GX variants move over the last few months. In this week's full art from Shining Legend, that's taking the big leap. The full art printing has more than doubled in the past 6 weeks, going from about $10 to $23 today. And it's not alone. In fact, most of the chase cards from Shining Legend have been climbing. Shining Mew for $83. Has that been climbing? It sure has. Shining Rayquaza has nearly doubled, climbing from $30 to $50. Raichu GX, $25 to $50. And the most expensive card in the set is simply detonating. Shiny Legends Mewtwo for $382. It has always been the most expensive card in Shining Legends, and it's been a solid investment. Over the last few years, it climbed from $75 in 2022 to $125 in 2023 to $175 in 2024. You spot the pattern. So here we are in 2025, and the price has climbed to $370. That it has, with the cheapest near-mint listing here on TCG Player going for that number. Any Pokemon set printed pre-pandemic has comparatively less supply than we would consider true new era sets. And that means swings can be, swingy. Even still, this is a massive climb for this card and represents how much money is and will be flowing into EX, GX, and Mega Pokemon printings. The next set, Destined Rivals, is just about a month away, and before long we will be seeing prices movements related to that. And speaking of Destined Rivals, if you like, comment, subscribe, let's just go over the price. From $368 to $270, $318, and now dipped to $270. I would wait on this box. I think there'll be tons of reprints coming out so that everyone will be able to get their Destined Rivals fix. So I'm not in a hurry to get this card, this set. But I will be getting a Destined Rivals Elite Trainer box that I will be giving out to one lucky subscriber. And all you have to do to enter that giveaway is like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you liked about the video. And you can enter your chance to win a Destined Rivals Elite Trainer box, not the booster box, but the Elite Trainer box. So let me know what you all thought about this Biggest Movers and Shakers of the Week article. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.